Good day, everyone. Today we will discuss our sixth lesson. It is entitled Plot, or The Unfolding of the Story. In creative nonfiction, you observe life's particular moment as it unfolds before your eyes, ears, nose, skin, or tongue. In observing, your senses deliberately or incidentally notice something or someone. Your mind records a certain picture, taste, feel, or sound of that particular moment. These details are just that facts and information that do not have any meaning or significance until your literary mind intervenes. Your literary mind shapes these details in forming a plot. As in literary works, creative nonfiction follows the plot structure of rising action, climax, and resolution. The plot is the formal and careful arrangement of facts and information that shows the story's dramatic, thematic, and emotional meaning. Now, let's try to read Rabindranath Tagore's Bimala's story written way back in 1960. Mother, today there come back to mind the vermilion mark at the parting of your hair, the sari which you used to wear, with its wide red border and those wonderful eyes of yours, full of depth and peace. They came at the start of my life's journey, like the first streak of dawn, giving me golden provision to carry me on my way. The sky which gives light is blue, and my mother's face was dark, but she had the radiance of holiness, and her beauty would put to shame all the vanity of the beautiful. Everyone says that I resemble my mother. In my childhood, I used to resent this. It made me angry with my mirror. I thought that it was God's unfairness which was wrapped around my limbs, that my dark features were not my due, but had come to me by some misunderstanding. All that remained for me to ask of my God in reparation was that I might grow up to be a model of what woman should be, as one reads in it some epic poem. When the proposal came from a marriage, an astrologer was sent, who consulted my palm and said, "This girl has good signs. She will become an ideal wife." And all the women who heard it said, "No wonder, for she resembles her mother." I was married into a Raha's house. When I was a child, I was quite familiar with the description of the prince of the fairy story, but my husband's face was not of a kind that one's imagination would place in fairyland. It was dark, even as mine was. The feeling of shrinking which I had about my own lack of physical beauty was lifted a little. At the same time, a touch of regret was left lingering in my heart. Now let's note how the authors build emotional tension in Bimala's mind as she compares herself with her beautiful mother, of how she herself doubts her own beauty even as she is compared by others to her mother. The author calmly raises the plot to the point where Bimala is declared fit for marriage. He dramatically brings it down to the marriage of Bimala as if she deserves to be married at all. In her doubt, the author makes reader reflect on the value of beauty and its effects on women who might think of themselves as lacking it. Bimala's story is just the opening chapter of Tagore's novel The Home and the World. Set in the early 20th century, the internal conflict of Bimala is reflective of India's divisions that mark the country's effort towards national unity. Now, let's try to improve your plot development skills by learning about plot points. Plot points, according to Robert McKee, are any development that sends the story off in a new direction. Let's try to consider the plot points as the three heartbeats of the story. The beat 1 is the event where something happens. The beat 2 is the action, where somebody reacts. And the beat 3 is a reaction. It's either success or failure. Let's take the plot points about a traffic aid in a quiet and cool afternoon. A traffic aid calmly stands at a four-way intersection, watching cars and pedestrians pass by. Do you see any plot point here? Clearly, there is none. The traffic aid does not react because nothing is happening yet, and he has no cause for action. Then, a motorcycle with a driver wearing no helmet whizzes by, its engine roaring at full speed. And here's our plot point starts. The point of reaction for the traffic aid. It completely changes his calmness on the street. On the plot point number 2, we've got as a motorcycle crashes into a pedestrian crossing the street and knocks her over. Plot point number 3, the motorcycle driver jumps off the motorcycle and runs away on foot. On number 4, the traffic aid calls for backup while checking the condition of the pedestrian who remains conscious but is already bleeding. Plot point number 5, an ambulance and paramedics arrive and rush the woman to the hospital. And the last plot point, when the traffic aid visits the hospital, the woman and her family could not thank him enough. The plot point provides you with a skeletal frame on which we write the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. It outlines the possible shape of the facts and how you will develop it into a full story with all the imaginative details you want to write. Got it? Now, for our activity, let's open the document with the file name Lesson2 or Lesson6 underscore creative nonfiction underscore Sir Michael underscore worksheet number 1. And here is the worksheet that we are going to complete. Of course, you need to write your name and also the section and the strand where you belong. Let me read the directions. Read and understand the excerpt below, then write its plot points on the given space. The title of our excerpt is Christmas Festivities. It came from Harriet Jacobs' Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. Christmas was approaching. Grandmother brought me materials and I busied myself making some new garments and little playthings for my children. We're not that hiring day is near at hand, and many families are fearfully looking forward to the probability of separation in a few days. Christmas might be a happy season for the poor slaves. Even slave mothers try to gladden the hearts of their little ones on that occasion. Benny and Ellen had their Christmas stockings filled. Their imprisoned mother could not have the privilege of witnessing their surprise and joy, but I had the pleasure of peeping at them as they went into the street with their new suit on. I heard Benny ask a little playmate whether Santa Claus brought him anything. Yes, replied the boy, but Santa Claus ain't a real man. It's the children's mothers that puts things into the stockings. No, that can't be, replied Benny, for Santa Claus brought Ellen and me these new clothes, and my mother has been gone this long time. How I longed to tell him that his mother made those garments, and that many a tear fell on them while she worked. Christmas Festivities, an excerpt from Harriet Jacobs' Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. Now these are the plot points that we must fill in. We've got plot point number 1 up to plot point number 10. And yeah, that's it for our worksheet number 1. And let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation for your mini performance task number 2. For your mini performance task number 2, write your own plot points from 1, a personal happy story, and 2, a personal sad story. Once again, for mini performance task number 2, write your own plot points from 1, a personal happy story, and 2, a personal sad story. Write at least 10 plot points each. Again, write at least 10 plot points each. You're going to write those plot points on a short bond paper. That's it for our lesson for today. Thank you everyone for listening, and once again, I'm still using the book Creative Nonfiction written by Lorna Q. Israel under Vibal Publishing as my main reference from our lessons. And yeah, good luck on your activities, particularly on your mini performance task number 2 as well as on the worksheet number 1. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!